Magandang umaga, Filipinas. Good morning. You're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada. I'm Thomas I. Likeness, reporting from our Eagle News studio in the Western Canadian province of Alberta. My city is Edmonton, and we're here to bring you news and commentary from across the country. Well, it's Monday morning, and let's begin the week with a look at the weather in Metro Manila this morning. AccuWeather forecasting a partly sunny day. Expect thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. We've got a 54% chance of precip and drip. The high today, 33 with a real feel of 40. Currently, a few clouds, 27 degrees, but it feels like 33. The air quality is fair, so be careful if you have breathing difficulties and you plan to go outside today. Well, the coffee's on, and I stocked up on some 3-in-1 for those of you who prefer that. So grab yourself a second cup, sit back, relax, and let me tell you what's happening in Canada. First, we'll take a look at the weather across the country. Our street scene today comes from Calgary, and a big thank you to J.C. Umel and Tiffany Elisassis for these shots of Calgary. Now you can see the haze in the air, and that's coming from smoke and those wildfires that are burning up the American West Coast. The intensity is easing somewhat. We even felt it up here in Edmonton last Friday, and it's still making its way through the southern parts of Canada. Let's have a look at the weather map here, though. We'll start on the west coast. Victoria, mostly cloudy and 17 degrees. Vancouver, mostly cloudy and 20. We crossed the mountains into Alberta, where it's sunny. It's been windy all day. Strong winds here, 19 degrees. Calgary, mainly sunny and 19. Now in Regina, they're reporting smoke again from those wildfires, 19 degrees there. Saskatoon, cloudy and 18. Winnipeg, mostly cloudy and 22. Toronto, partly cloudy and 15. The nation's capital, Ottawa, mainly sunny and 15. Montreal, sunshine and 14. We move into the Atlantic provinces. Fredericton is sunny and 15. Halifax, partly cloudy and 13. And St. John's, Newfoundland, it's chilly up there, mostly cloudy. They only got up to 8 degrees today. Well, at the top of the news this morning, the Canada-U.S. border remains closed for another 30 days. A majority of Canadians say they'd be willing to go through another shutdown if there's a second wave of COVID-19. And Ontario plans to get tough with those hosting large gatherings. We begin with the Canadian-U.S. border. Non-essential travel is still banned. That closure extended for another month until October 21st. You recall the border was first closed last March as the pandemic began rolling through North America. Canadians can still fly to the United States, but it's the land crossings that are restricted. Nobody in, nobody out. The Canadian government is telling people to stay home anyway, avoid any non-essential travel to any destination. Well, what's on the minds of Canadians regarding the pandemic? Let's check a public opinion poll. This latest poll from Ipsos was done for Global News. It says 3/4 of those asked would support shutting down the most non-essential businesses if there was a second wave. And although that's pretty committed, it's down about 8% from July. Now, that same number of people believe a second wave will wash over their community this fall. What about vaccines? Nearly 2/3 say it should be mandatory. About 2/3 fear they will be personally infected with the virus. How do you feel about these issues? The province of Ontario dealing with a growing number of COVID-19 cases. Eagle News correspondent Ashley Sackmar telling us that Premier Doug Ford, he's just not at all impressed with large social gatherings, and he's putting his foot down.
Since last week, Ontario continues to see a significant increase in COVID-19 cases. The last few days saw new cases upwards to 300. For this reason, Premier Doug Ford announced Thursday that starting Friday, September 18th, Ontario will lower limits on social gatherings in 3 particular regions: Toronto, Peel, and Ottawa. Here's Premier Ford with the announcement.
We will be implementing further restrictions on organized public events and social gatherings. Starting tomorrow in Toronto, Peel Region, and Ottawa, outdoor gatherings will be restricted to a maximum of 25 people, and indoor gatherings will be restricted to a maximum of 10 people. This includes social events and gatherings, like private parties in your backyard or barbecues held in your home, backyards, and parks.
Early last week, more than 30 new cases of COVID-19 were traced to wedding events in Toronto, Markham, and Richard-Stouffville areas. The Premier has strongly expressed disappointment over huge gatherings that don't follow proper protocols.
I tell you, it drives me crazy. I'm up here like a preacher telling people every single day, don't let your guard down, don't let your guard down. And be very frank, the majority of the people are following the protocols. It only takes a small group, and then it just starts going like a wildfire right across the board. But I'm not going to stop telling people to continue to wash your hands and face masks and social distance, because I knew this was going to start creeping up again, and we've been talking about the second wave. We aren't in a full-blown second wave, and we can get our hands around it.
However, Premier Ford has received criticism for recently attending MPP Stan Cho's wedding. Photos of him at the wedding showed the Premier and most guests not wearing masks and not observing proper social distancing. When asked to respond to how the photo appears to contradict his statement about huge gatherings, here's what Premier Ford had to say.
That wedding I went to, Stan Cho's, all the protocols were followed. Every single person in that room had a mask. They got their temperature taken. If I stretched my legs, I stood up from the table and I didn't have my mask on and then sat back down. Wandering around that room, everyone had their masks on.
Minister Elliott says that they are taking targeted action to limit unmonitored and private social gatherings to 10 people inside or 25 people outside. Indoor and outdoor events cannot be merged together. A minimum fine of $10,000 will be charged to organizers of large gatherings. The new rules do not apply to businesses and facilities such as cinemas and restaurants. As of Friday, and as Minister Elliott reports, Ontario has 401 new cases of COVID-19, with 130 in Toronto, 82 in Peel, and 61 in Ottawa. In Toronto, Ashley Sackmar, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Well, the school bell began summonsing kids back to class about 2 weeks ago. Now, schools in most parts of Canada have reopened to mixed reviews. Parents and teachers worried about the spread of COVID-19 among students and instructors. Eagle News correspondent Vanessa Conde joins us live this morning. Vanessa, what steps are public health officials taking to monitor the situation in your province?
So currently, as students have gone back to school across the country, there is still a risk of coronavirus spreading. So the BC government has announced there will be a new method to test for coronavirus for school-aged children, as stated by Dr. Bonnie Henry.
On a positive note as well, we have some exciting new testing that we're able to provide for students in British Columbia. Containing the spread of the virus in our communities is, of course, core to our COVID-19 response, and that's why getting tested as soon as anybody has any symptoms is incredibly important. While we all do our part, supporting all of us has also been our research and scientific community, and we have been incredibly proud of the work that has been done by our research and scientific community here across British Columbia. And at the BC CDC and with our post-secondary institutions and the private sector, they have been supporting our BC response from the very beginning. Taking the step to get tested is how you protect your friends, your family, and your community. And now for K-12 students, we have an easier alternative than the nasopharyngeal swab that has been the standard that we've been using. Today, a new Made in BC sample collection program has been launched for all K-12 students across the province, and it is one of the first of its kind around the world. For school-aged children in BC, so those aged 4 to 19, a mouth rinse gargle is now available at the COVID-19 collection centers or assessment centers around BC, so across the province. So unlike the nasopharyngeal swab, this is a new saline gargle where you put a little bit of normal saline, so that sterile water in your mouth, you swish it around a little bit and you spit it into a little tube. And that's an easier way to collect it for young people.
The mouth rinse and gargle sample does not require a healthcare professional to collect the sample, and children can practice the technique at home. As testing centres have become increasingly busy, and especially as we're coming into the flu season, the more important it is to find quicker and various methods to test for COVID-19. In Victoria, BC, Vanessa Condi, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Vanessa. And if you're just joining us this morning, it's 7:17 and you're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada.
The program consists of providing
Do you want to earn a degree while you work? New Era University now offers Expanded Tertiary Education Equivalency and Accreditation Program, or ETIAP. ETIAP is an educational scheme that recognizes knowledge, skills, and prior learning obtained by individuals from non-formal and informal education experiences. It is implemented through deputized higher educational institutions like the New Era University that awards the appropriate degrees. Programs offered are the following: Master's Program, Masters of Arts in Education, major in Educational Management, Master's Program in Business Administration, Bachelor of Arts in Science, major in Political Science, Bachelor of Arts in Science, major in Mass Communication, Bachelor of Science in Education, major in Filipino, major in English, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with majors in Human Resources Development, Marketing Management, and Financial Management. Beneficiaries must be Filipinos who have attained at least high school level of education. The program is flexible and you don't need to attend regular classes. Expanded Tertiary Education Equivalency and Accreditation Program, or ETIAP, is under the supervision of Dr. Nilo L. Rosas, the University President, and Professor Anita P. Santos, Director of ETIAP. For more information, contact the following: Christina Moreno, 0995-138-0786, or email cvmoreno@meu.edu.ph, or Arlene Sarmiento, 0906-298-9150, or email cedctl@meu.edu.ph. What are you waiting for? Let New Era University be your partner in achieving your dreams.
You're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada. It's 19 minutes past 7 o'clock, 27 degrees under a partly cloudy sky in Metro Manila. Well, we'll take a look at sports now. In hockey news, Eagle sports reporter Anthony Sevilla continues his conversations with players from the Vancouver Canucks about how they felt about their time in the bubble.
First career postseason debut for the Vancouver Canucks heading into the NHL bubble. The young Canucks players shared with us their experiences playing in the bubble, how much of an impact their playoff run was a stepping stone for their team, and how they can continue their development heading forward.
Regarding the bubble, it's obviously weird, something that hopefully we don't have to experience again. And it's fun being in there with 12 teams. Definitely a crazy experience, and just getting to know even some of the other guys on your team, older guys that wouldn't be able to hang out with as much because of they're with their family and stuff. So I think as a group being together for that long, it was really good for us, and it was a fun experience.
Said it felt like a long felt like we were kind of kids again, being in the bubble and being there for a month and a half or however long it was. It was a really fun experience, and it was cool, and props to the NHL. It was really well ran, and it was good. And obviously no one got corona, so that was the main goal, and that was really nice.
I think a huge step for our team. It gave us a lot of confidence that we can play with anyone. And then regarding myself, I think I can always get better. My goals going in the summer have never been to just get better at one thing. I think that I'm going to try to get stronger, then just better at everything that I do. So, skating, shot, hand, skills, anything I can. And, I don't know how long we have till the season will start, but I'm going to do whatever I can to get better. That was the most fun hockey I've played all year was, the bubble hockey. So, it's exciting, and hopefully, it's something our team can play in and be a part of, year after year.
I think it's definitely a really good experience for our whole group, and I think it's really eye-opening for our group to kind of see how far we've come, and I really think that we're right there. We're so close to being in the finals, and that's exciting for our group. And for sure. Personally, I think I'm really happy with the way I played. I thought I played really hard and was really committed to the 200-foot game, and something I think I could have done better. I thought I could shoot the puck more. I think when I shoot the puck, it drives my game, and that's when I play better and generate more scoring chances. And just kind of looking at that, I feel like we've shot the puck more, so it's definitely something I'm thinking about and going to bring back ready to go for next season. But I think it's eye-opening for all us young guys that we were right there. We're a young group, and just to be that close to the conference finals, it's eye-opening. And I think, our mindset next year throughout the whole season is we can beat anyone. And I think that we proved it in the playoffs, and I think we felt that during the playoffs too that we can beat anyone. So, I think we're definitely going to be a confident group coming into next year and, make another run at the cup.
From Vancouver, Anthony Sevilla, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
All right, from the ice rink now, we go to the basketball courts, where Eagle sports reporter Tenny Sumagi tells us that LeBron James, he's just not impressed at all with the result of the MVP vote. Good morning, Tenny. It seems that LeBron has a bit of a bee in his bonnet.
I'm not impressed with the results either, Tom, but, that's just my opinion. But coming in second to Giannis Antetokounmpo in the MVP race, LeBron James had a lot to say about the voting. Take a look.
Me off. That's my true answer. It put me off because out of 101 votes, I got 16 first place votes. Not saying that the winner wasn't deserving of the MVP. I finished second a lot in my career, either from a championship and now 4 times as an MVP. Like I said, I never came into this league saying let me be an MVP or be a champion. I've always said I just want to get better and better every single day, and those things that take care of itself. There's some things that's just out of my hand and some things you can't control. I'm not going to sit up here and talk about what the criteria should be or what it is. It's changed over the years since I've gotten to the league. I know that. It's just changed. It's changed a lot. Sometimes it's, the best player on the best team. Sometimes it's the guy with the best season statistically. Sometimes it's changed over the course of my career. I mean, you don't know. You don't know, but Giannis had a hell of a season. I can definitely say that.
LeBron and the Lakers look to go up 2-0 against the Denver Nuggets in about 2 minutes from now. In New York, Tenny Sumagi, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Tenny, 16 out of 101 first place. What are these writers thinking? With the season LeBron had, the voting should have at least been close. What are your thoughts on this?
I agree with you, Tom. He was my choice to win MVP just because he just had a phenomenal season. Yes, his numbers weren't as great as the previous time he won it when he was with the Cavaliers and the Heat. And yes, Giannis Antetokounmpo did have better numbers. He's improved greatly from his previous MVP season. And yes, the Bucks had the best record in the NBA. They almost won. They were they almost won about 73 games. They were on pace to break the Golden State Warriors record. But are the Bucks in the NBA playoffs? No. The Lakers are. And that's something I really don't know what these writers think and their criteria right now. But, to me, an MVP is not only an individual award, but it's also to the person who also makes the other team players better. And I think LeBron did a great job with that this season. So, he's my MVP, but I wouldn't have to worry because I truly feel that he's going to use this as motivation to win his win an NBA title with the Lakers.
All right, despite being robbed, it's been a great year for LeBron. Let's move on to something positive. He's got a book out. It's actually a children's book. It's called I Promise. Apparently made the New York Times bestsellers list after it was released last month.
Yes, this was a bestseller, I Promise, and it was actually illustrated by a Filipino-American illustrator, Nina Mata, who's actually hails from Queens, New York. And it's a great book. I really suggest that if you love children's books like I do, because I'm a teacher during the day, I really recommend that you read this read this children's book that LeBron used. It's a very positive book. It teaches about good morals and just to stand up what you believe in.
Hey, I think that's even a better legacy than MVP because he's leaving something there with the future generations. Before you go, you got 30 seconds. Before you go, predictions for today's Game 2 against the Nuggets.
Whew. I mean, I have said this. I love the Denver Nuggets. I said it, that they're my favorite team outside of Los Angeles. And I love Mike Malone because he's my neighbor. He's from Astoria, New York, which is the neighboring town from where I'm from. But I think the Lakers will, like I said, LeBron is probably just motivated and he's going to spew up fire. Who knows how many points or how many assists he's going to have. So I'm going to say the Lakers are going to go 2-up on this one and probably even win the series in 6.
Yeah, they're not going to make it easy for them, are they?
No, I don't think the Nuggets, the Nuggets have shown their resilience, but this is just a Laker team that's just so dominant and, they wouldn't go to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, can't be beaten. Okay, thanks, Tinny. That's our program for today. And as always, on behalf of our Canadian News team, I wish you all good health. Take care of others and take care of yourselves. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to Eagle News for accurate and balanced coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and other current affairs. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Stay tuned for Kid Quinto.